On one of the slides, she says, I can't believe I finally had the courage to write what I did.
The Sister Wives universe is about to get rocked, and honestly, we are so here for it. Christine Brown just dropped what might be the most ominous teaser we have ever seen about her upcoming memoir, and if you thought the drama was over after 3 sister wives left Cody, think again. Because Christine just posted marketing material for her book, with one line that has sent shockwaves through the polygamy community. And that line is this: I can't believe I finally had the courage to write what I did. Ladies, when a woman who spent 17 years keeping family secrets finally says she had the courage to spill them, you know we are about to get some absolutely explosive revelations. And sources are already whispering that what Christine has written could potentially destroy the one marriage Cody has left. We are talking about Christine allegedly going full scorched earth on Robyn Brown, the woman who many fans believe manipulated her way into becoming Cody's one and only wife. Think about this for a hot minute. Christine was there for everything. She witnessed the early days when Robyn joined the family as wife number 4. She saw how quickly the family dynamic shifted. She watched as Cody's attention and resources mysteriously started flowing in one direction. And after years of staying quiet, playing nice, and protecting the family image, Christine is reportedly ready to expose secrets that could bring down the carefully constructed fairy tale that Robyn has been living. The timing is absolutely perfect, too. Christine's book Sister Wife drops in September. Right around the same time, Cody will be making a fool of himself on Special Forces Season 4. Talk about a 1-2 punch that could leave the Brown family empire in absolute shambles. And if the rumors are true about what Christine has written, Robyn Brown better buckle up because her world is about to get turned completely upside down.
I am so excited for my book. It's going to be available. It's available now. You can pre-order it now.
But here's what makes this even more delicious. Christine has already given us a taste of what's coming. Remember that audio snippet she shared where she was recording the audiobook version? The one where she was throwing shade at Cody rushing home to check on Robyn and her feelings during Christine's labor? That was just the appetizer, honey. Insiders are saying the main course is going to be absolutely devastating. We are talking about a woman who kept her mouth shut for nearly 2 decades while watching her sister wife allegedly manipulate situations, hoard resources, and slowly but surely push the other wives out of Cody's life. Christine saw it all happen in real time, and now she apparently has decided that silence is no longer golden. The courage she references in that Instagram post, that is the courage of someone who has decided that protecting Robyn's reputation is no longer worth sacrificing her own truth. And the best part? Christine has absolutely nothing left to lose. She has already left Cody, moved to Utah, found love with David Woolley, and built herself a beautiful new life. Meanwhile, Robyn is still desperately clinging to a marriage that may be about to get exposed as the house of cards it allegedly always was. Now let's talk about why this book could be the ultimate marriage destroyer for Cody and Robyn. Because what most people do not realize is that Christine was not just another sister wife in this family. She was allegedly the family peacekeeper, the one who tried to make everything work, the one who swallowed her pride time and time again to keep the Browns functioning as a unit. And that means she has witnessed things that could absolutely shatter the carefully crafted image that Robyn has spent years building. Sources close to the family are whispering that Christine's book does not just focus on her own journey out of polygamy. Allegedly, she goes deep into the family dynamics that viewers never saw on camera. And honey, if there is one thing we know about reality television, it is that the juiciest drama happens when those cameras are not rolling. Christine was there for all of it. The private conversations, the behind-the-scenes manipulation, the moments when Robyn thought nobody was paying attention to how she was allegedly working the system. Think about what Christine witnessed during those crucial early years when Robyn joined the family. She saw how a 4th wife managed to become the favorite wife in record time. She watched as Cody's priorities shifted dramatically. She allegedly observed the subtle ways that Robyn positioned herself as the victim, while simultaneously getting everything she wanted. And after years of watching this play out, Christine apparently decided it was time to tell her side of the story.
At the beginning of September, Christine's highly anticipated memoir, Sister Wife, is set to come out.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Rumors are circulating that Christine does not just expose what happened, she allegedly explains how it happened. The specific tactics, the emotional manipulation, the financial maneuvering that allowed one wife to essentially take over an entire family structure. And if those rumors are accurate, Robyn's carefully maintained image as the innocent newcomer who just wanted to fit in is about to get completely obliterated. The marriage between Cody and Robyn has always been built on a very specific narrative. Robyn was the pure one, the spiritual one, the one who understood Cody's vision for the family better than his other wives. She was supposedly the victim of circumstances, just trying to make the best of a difficult situation. But what if that entire narrative was allegedly a carefully constructed lie? What if Christine's book reveals that Robyn was actually the architect of the other wives' misery? And here is the thing about marriages built on false narratives. When the truth comes out, the foundation crumbles fast. If Cody discovers that his precious Robyn was allegedly playing games he never knew about, manipulating situations he thought were organic, and positioning herself as the victim while secretly orchestrating the other wives' exits, how does that marriage survive? How does a man's ego recover from learning he was allegedly played by the woman he thought was his most loyal supporter? The whispers are getting louder that Christine's book contains specific examples, dates, and incidents that will make it impossible for Robyn to deny what allegedly really happened. And when those revelations hit, the Brown family as we know it might finally implode completely. But let's dive into what could be the most explosive part of Christine's book, and that is the money trail. Because if there is one thing that has always been murky in the Brown family, it is where the money actually went and who was making the financial decisions behind the scenes. And Christine, as one of the original wives who helped build this empire, allegedly has receipts that could destroy everything. We all remember those painful moments on the show when Christine was struggling with massive medical bills. Her daughter Isabel needed major surgery for her scoliosis, and Christine was basically left to figure it out on her own, while Cody was allegedly more concerned about his image than his daughter's health. Then there was Truly's terrifying kidney failure episode that almost cost that little girl her life. Throughout both of these medical crises, Christine was reportedly shouldering the financial burden while watching Cody drive around in his convertible Mercedes and Robyn redecorate her mansion with cruise ship art and creepy doll collections. Sources are whispering that Christine's book allegedly contains detailed information about how the family finances were really managed, and honey, it is apparently not the equal distribution that viewers were led to believe. Rumors suggest that while Christine was scrambling to pay for her children's life-saving medical treatments, certain family members were allegedly living high on the hog with no financial stress whatsoever. Think about the timeline here. Christine is dealing with massive medical expenses for her children. Janelle is struggling to keep her family afloat. Mary is basically supporting herself. And meanwhile, Robyn is allegedly getting a brand new house, new furniture, nanny services, and whatever else her heart desires. The math has never added up, and insiders are saying Christine finally decided to show her work.
Helping me digest through all of the different emotions, and I dug real deep, and there are some secrets and some nitty-gritty stuff, and I hope you love it.
But here's where it gets really juicy. Allegedly, Christine's book does not just reveal the financial inequality. Sources claim she exposes how those decisions were made and who was really pulling the strings behind the scenes. Was it Cody making these choices independently, or was he allegedly being influenced by a certain fourth wife who had mastered the art of getting what she wanted while making it seem like everyone else's fault? The rumors about what Christine has written regarding the family's financial management are absolutely wild. Allegedly, she details specific instances where money that should have gone to shared family expenses or other wives' needs mysteriously ended up funding Robyn's lifestyle. We are talking about potential revelations that could show a pattern of financial manipulation that went on for years without the other wives fully understanding what was happening. And if these allegations are true, imagine how this information is going to hit Cody. The man has always prided himself on being the head of the family, the decision maker, the one in control. But what if Christine's book reveals that he was allegedly being manipulated into making financial choices that benefited one wife at the expense of everyone else? What if he discovers that his financial priorities were being shaped by someone who was working her own agenda while he thought he was making independent decisions? This is the kind of information that does not just embarrass people. This is the kind of information that destroys trust, destroys marriages, and destroys entire family structures. Now here's where Christine's book could get absolutely nuclear, and it all comes back to something Cody said during the season 19 tell-all that probably seemed insignificant at the time, but now looks like foreshadowing. Cody stated on camera that money and intimacy were always the family's sacred cows, the topics that were off limits, the things they just did not discuss publicly. Well, honey, if the rumors about Christine's book are accurate, she just took those sacred cows and turned them into hamburger. Let's start with the intimacy bombshells, because allegedly, Christine is not holding back when it comes to exposing the bedroom dynamics that helped tear this family apart. We have already seen hints of this in the audio snippet she shared, where she was clearly throwing shade at Cody for rushing home to check on Robyn's feelings during Christine's labor. But sources are whispering that what made it into that audio clip is just the tip of the iceberg. Think about what Christine witnessed over 17 years of marriage. She allegedly saw how Cody's romantic attention shifted dramatically after Robyn joined the family. She watched as the rotation schedule that was supposed to ensure equal time with each wife mysteriously started favoring one particular household. She reportedly endured years of feeling like she was competing for scraps of affection from her own husband while watching him allegedly shower one wife with the kind of romantic attention the others could only dream about. But here's what makes this potentially devastating for Robyn's marriage. Allegedly, Christine's book does not just reveal that Kody played favorites in the bedroom.
Christine has been teasing bits and pieces about what she's written over on her Instagram, and it is making people really excited to read it.
Sources claim she exposes how Robyn allegedly manipulated those situations to ensure she got the lion's share of Cody's romantic attention. We are talking about potential revelations of emotional manipulation tactics, fake emergencies, and strategic vulnerability that allegedly kept Kody running back to Robyn's house night after night. And if you think that sounds harsh, consider this. Other content creators who have allegedly gotten early glimpses of Christine's book are hinting that she goes scorched earth on Cody's bedroom performance across the board. Remember when Brittany Cartwright went on Watch What Happens Live and rated her ex Jax Taylor a consistent 2 out of 10 in bed? Sources are whispering that Christine may have delivered a similar devastating assessment of Cody's romantic skills. And honey, there is nothing that destroys a narcissist's ego quite like having their bedroom performance publicly critiqued by someone who experienced it firsthand. But the money aspect is allegedly where Christine really goes for the jugular. Remember, this woman was there when the family was struggling financially in the early days. She helped build the Brown family brand from nothing. She worked to make their reality show successful. She contributed to every business venture and financial decision. And then she allegedly watched as the fruits of all that labor mysteriously started flowing primarily to one wife's household while everyone else struggled. The timing of these revelations could not be worse for Kody and Robyn's marriage. Just when they thought they had successfully pushed out the other wives and could finally live their monogamous fantasy, Christine is reportedly ready to expose every alleged manipulation, every financial inequity, and every bedroom secret that made their victory possible. And once those sacred cows are slaughtered in print, there is no putting that genie back in the bottle. But what really makes Christine's upcoming revelations so potentially catastrophic is that she had a front row seat to things that Kody probably thought nobody else noticed. Because here's the thing about being in a plural marriage for 17 years, you see everything. You witness the private moments, the whispered conversations, the strategic tears, and the carefully orchestrated dramas that happen when certain people think the cameras are off and the other wives are not paying attention. Sources close to Christine are allegedly hinting that her book contains specific incidents that will make viewers finally understand how Robyn managed to go from fourth wife to only wife in what seemed like record time. We are talking about detailed accounts of alleged manipulation tactics that were so subtle, so expertly executed, that even the other wives did not fully realize what was happening until it was too late. Think about all those times Robyn claimed she was just trying to fit in, just trying to find her place in an established family dynamic. What if Christine's book allegedly reveals that those innocent newcomer moments were actually calculated moves designed to position Robyn as the victim, while simultaneously undermining the other wives' relationships with Kody? What if those tears and emotional breakdowns that always seem to happen at the most convenient times were allegedly part of a larger strategy to keep Cody's attention focused on Robyn's needs above everyone else's? And honey, Christine was there for all of it. She watched Robyn allegedly work her magic during family meetings. She witnessed the private conversations where Robyn supposedly positioned herself as the voice of reason, while subtly throwing the other wives under the bus. She saw how Robyn allegedly managed to make her demands seem like sacrifices, and her manipulation look like spiritual guidance. But here's what could be the most devastating part of Christine's revelations. Insiders are whispering that she does not just expose what Robyn allegedly did, she explains how Kody fell for it every single time. We could be looking at detailed accounts of how a supposedly strong patriarch was allegedly played like a fiddle by a woman who understood exactly which emotional buttons to push and when to push them. Imagine reading specific scenes where Robyn allegedly created drama just to get Cody's attention, then positioned herself as the solution to problems she had created in the first place. Picture detailed accounts of how she supposedly used her children as leverage, her past marriage as a sympathy card, and her spiritual beliefs as justification for getting whatever she wanted. And the timing aspect makes this even more brutal. Allegedly, Christine's book contains a timeline that shows how Robyn's alleged manipulation escalated over the years. Starting small with little requests and emotional needs, then gradually building to bigger demands and more dramatic interventions, until she had allegedly maneuvered herself into the position of being Cody's primary wife in everything but name. If these rumors are accurate, Robyn's carefully maintained image as the innocent victim of circumstances is about to be completely shattered. And when Cody reads these alleged revelations about how he was supposedly manipulated and controlled, how does a man with his massive ego handle that kind of humiliation? How does their marriage survive the revelation that everything he thought was organic and spiritual was allegedly calculated and strategic? The whispers are getting louder that Christine held nothing back, and the fallout is going to be absolutely epic. Now let's talk about what might be the most damning section of Christine's book, and that is her alleged deep dive into the favoritism that destroyed this family from the inside out. Because Christine was not just a casual observer of Robyn's rise to power, she was allegedly a victim of the systematic favoritism that pushed the original three wives to the margins of their own family. Sources are whispering that Christine's book contains specific examples of how Robyn allegedly manipulated situations to ensure her children got preferential treatment, while the other wives' kids were left scrambling for their father's attention and resources. We are talking about detailed accounts of how birthday parties, school events, and family milestones mysteriously became all about Robyn's household, while everyone else's children learned to accept being afterthoughts in their own father's life. Think about what Christine witnessed during those crucial years when Robyn was cementing her position as the favorite wife. She allegedly saw how Robyn's children immediately became Cody's priority, while his biological children with the other wives started getting treated like distant relatives. She watched as family resources that should have been shared equally somehow kept flowing toward one particular household, while everyone else was told to tighten their belts and make sacrifices. But here's where the alleged favoritism gets really ugly. Rumors are circulating that Christine's book exposes how Robyn supposedly used her children's emotional needs as weapons against the other wives. Sources claim Christine details incidents where Robyn allegedly created situations that made it seem like her kids were being mistreated by the other wives, then positioned herself as the protective mother who needed Cody's intervention and support. And honey, if these allegations are true, it explains so much about how this family fell apart. Imagine being Christine, watching your husband lavish attention and resources on one wife's children, while your own kids learn not to expect much from their father. Picture the frustration of seeing Robyn's household get new furniture, nanny services, and whatever else they needed, while you are scrambling to pay for your daughter's life-saving surgery. The timing of this alleged favoritism is particularly brutal. Sources are hinting that Christine's book contains a detailed timeline showing how Robyn's preferential treatment escalated over the years, starting with small things like getting the biggest house in Las Vegas, then gradually building to bigger advantages like having her children's needs prioritized over everyone else's, until she had allegedly maneuvered herself into a position where her household was functioning like a separate nuclear family, while the other wives were treated like distant relatives. But what makes this potentially devastating for Robyn's marriage is that Christine allegedly does not just document what happened, she exposes how it happened. We could be looking at detailed accounts of the specific tactics Robyn supposedly used to convince Cody that her children's needs were more urgent, more important, and more deserving of his attention than his biological children with the other wives. Imagine Cody reading specific examples of how he was allegedly manipulated into treating some of his children like priorities while others became afterthoughts. Picture him discovering that decisions he thought he was making as a father were actually being influenced by a wife who was working her own agenda, while making it seem like she was just looking out for the family's best interests. And the most brutal part? If Christine's allegations are accurate, Robyn allegedly did all of this while positioning herself as the victim, claiming she was just trying to protect her children from a hostile family environment that she had supposedly created through her own manipulative behavior. But let's dive into what could be the most revealing section of Christine's book, and that is her alleged expose of the sister-wife dynamics that viewers never fully understood. Because what happened between Christine and Robyn was not just a personality clash or a simple case of jealousy. Sources are whispering that Christine's book reveals it was a systematic campaign of alleged psychological warfare that made coexistence impossible. Remember all those awkward moments on camera where Christine seemed inexplicably hostile toward Robyn and viewers could not quite figure out what was really going on? Well, allegedly, Christine's book is going to explain exactly what was happening behind the scenes that made those interactions so tense. We are talking about detailed accounts of how Robyn supposedly used subtle manipulation tactics to isolate Christine from the family while making it look like Christine was the problem. Think about those infamous kitchen wars that the Brown family could never seem to resolve. Multiple wives trying to share one kitchen should have been manageable with good communication and mutual respect. But sources claim that Christine's book reveals how Robyn allegedly turned even the most mundane household tasks into power struggles, designed to establish dominance and push the other wives out of shared spaces. And honey, if these rumors are accurate, the kitchen conflicts were just the tip of the iceberg. Allegedly, Christine witnessed Robyn systematically working to undermine her relationships with not just Cody, but with the other wives as well. We could be looking at detailed accounts of how Robyn supposedly played the wives against each other, creating division and mistrust that made the plural marriage structure completely unsustainable. But here is where it gets really ugly. Insiders are whispering that Christine's book contains specific examples of how Robyn allegedly used information she gathered from one wife to manipulate situations with another. Picture Robyn learning about Christine's insecurities from casual conversation, then supposedly using that information to position herself as the more capable, more spiritual, more deserving wife during private moments with Cody. The alleged emotional manipulation tactics that Christine reportedly describes sound absolutely diabolical. Sources claim she details how Robyn would supposedly create problems, then swoop in to solve them, while positioning herself as the peacemaker and the other wives as the troublemakers. We are talking about potential revelations of manufactured drama designed to make Robyn look good, while making everyone else look petty and difficult. And the timing aspect makes this even more brutal for Robyn's current situation. Allegedly, Christine's book shows how these manipulation tactics escalated over time, starting with subtle undermining and gradually building to more overt campaigns designed to push the other wives out of the family entirely. If these allegations are accurate, Robyn's victory was not the result of being the better wife or the more spiritual woman. It was allegedly the result of a calculated campaign to destroy the other marriages while making it seem like the other wives were destroying themselves. But what makes this potentially catastrophic for Robyn's marriage is that Christine allegedly does not just document these tactics. She explains how they worked on Cody specifically. We could be looking at detailed psychological profiles of how Robyn supposedly identified Cody's weaknesses and exploited them to get what she wanted. Imagine Cody reading specific examples of how his emotions were allegedly manipulated, his decisions influenced, and his relationships with his other wives systematically destroyed by someone he trusted completely. That kind of revelation does not just embarrass a man, it destroys his sense of reality and his ability to trust his own judgment. Now here's where things get absolutely delicious, because if the rumors about Christine's book are even halfway accurate, Robyn Brown is probably in full panic mode right about now. Think about it from her perspective. She spent years carefully crafting an image as the innocent victim, the spiritual wife, the woman who just wanted to fit into an established family but kept getting treated unfairly by jealous sister wives. And now Christine is allegedly about to blow that entire narrative to smithereens with receipts, timestamps, and specific examples that will make it impossible for Robyn to maintain her victim status. Sources close to the situation are whispering that Robyn has been desperately trying to do damage control ever since Christine announced her book. Allegedly, she has been reaching out to family members, trying to get information about what Christine might have written, and preparing her own version of events in case she needs to go into crisis management mode. But here's the thing about trying to control a narrative when someone else holds all the cards. It is basically impossible, especially when that someone else apparently has 17 years worth of first-hand observations and allegedly zero interest in protecting your reputation. Think about what Robyn is facing here. For years, she has been able to control the storyline because she was still in the family, still married to Cody, still positioned as the loyal wife who stayed while everyone else abandoned ship. She could frame every situation as evidence of her dedication and everyone else's selfishness. But Christine's book allegedly flips that entire script and positions Robyn as the architect of everyone else's misery. And honey, the timing could not be worse for Robyn's damage control efforts. Christine's book is dropping right around the same time that Cody will be making an absolute fool of himself on Special Forces Season 4. So while he is off embarrassing himself with other reality stars and allegedly not playing well with others, Christine will be systematically destroying the foundation that their marriage was built on. Talk about a perfect storm of public humiliation and private devastation. But here's what makes Robyn's panic even more understandable. Allegedly, Christine's book does not just expose what happened in the past. It explains how those past actions led directly to the current situation. We could be looking at a detailed roadmap that shows how Robyn's alleged manipulation tactics destroyed the plural marriage structure and left her exactly where she supposedly wanted to be all along, as Cody's only wife. The problem with that kind of victory is that it only works if nobody knows how you achieved it. Once the manipulation tactics are exposed, once the calculated moves are revealed, once the victim narrative crumbles, what is left? A marriage built on lies, manipulation, and the systematic destruction of other relationships. And that is not exactly the foundation for a happily ever after. Sources are hinting that Robyn has been frantically trying to prepare Cody for what might be coming. But how do you prepare someone for learning that their entire reality was allegedly constructed through manipulation? How do you soften the blow of discovering that decisions you thought you made independently were actually influenced by someone working their own agenda? How do you maintain a marriage when the trust has been completely shattered by revelations about who your wife allegedly really is? The whispers are getting louder that Robyn knows exactly how damaging Christine's revelations could be, which is why she is reportedly in full damage control mode. But when someone has receipts, timeline evidence, and apparently no interest in protecting your reputation, damage control becomes nearly impossible. And now we get to the part that is going to be absolutely fascinating to watch unfold, because Christine's book is not just going to embarrass Kody and Robyn. If the rumors are accurate, it is going to create a ripple effect that could destroy everything they have built together and potentially implode the only remaining Brown marriage from the inside out. Think about what happens when these alleged revelations hit the public. We are talking about detailed accounts of financial manipulation, emotional abuse, systematic favoritism, and calculated psychological warfare, all laid out in Christine's own words with specific examples and timeline evidence. The Sister Wives fanbase is going to absolutely devour this information. And honey, they are not known for being forgiving when they discover they have been lied to for years. But here's where the ripple effect gets really brutal. Allegedly, Christine's book is not just going to change how fans view Robyn. Sources are whispering that it could completely change how Kody views his wife, his marriage, and his own decision-making over the past decade and a half. Imagine discovering that major life decisions you thought you made independently were actually influenced by someone who was allegedly working their own agenda while pretending to support your vision. And the psychological impact on Kody could be absolutely devastating. This is a man who has always prided himself on being the patriarch, the decision-maker, the one in control of his family's destiny. But what happens when he reads detailed accounts of how he was supposedly manipulated, controlled, and played by the wife he thought was his most loyal supporter? What happens to a narcissist's ego when they discover they were allegedly being controlled while thinking they were in charge? The timing of this revelation could not be worse for their marriage stability. Just when Kody and Robyn thought they had achieved their goal of becoming a monogamous couple, just when they thought they had successfully pushed out the other wives and could live their fairy tale romance, Christine is allegedly ready to reveal that their entire victory was built on lies, manipulation, and systematic destruction of other relationships. But here's what makes this particularly brutal for Robyn specifically. If Christine's allegations are accurate, Robyn's entire identity within the family was allegedly constructed around being the victim who was mistreated by jealous sister wives. She was supposedly the pure one, the spiritual one, the one who understood Kody's vision better than anyone else. But what happens when that entire narrative gets exposed as allegedly false? What happens when detailed evidence suggests she was actually the aggressor who systematically destroyed other marriages while positioning herself as the innocent victim? Sources close to the situation are whispering that the psychological warfare allegedly documented in Christine's book could provide a blueprint that explains every major family conflict over the past 15 years. We could be looking at revelations that show how arguments that seemed organic were actually manufactured, how crises that appeared spontaneous were allegedly calculated, and how decisions that felt spiritual were supposedly strategic. And once that kind of information is public, once those patterns are exposed, how does a marriage survive? How does Kody maintain his emotional connection to a woman he allegedly discovers manipulated him for years? How does Robyn maintain her victim status when there is allegedly documented evidence of her being the aggressor? How does their fairy tale romance survive the revelation that it was allegedly built on the systematic destruction of other people's happiness? The whispers are getting louder that this book is not just going to embarrass them, it is allegedly going to destroy the very foundation their relationship was built on. And here we are at what could be the ultimate reckoning for the Brown family empire, because Christine's book represents something that goes way beyond typical reality TV drama or family gossip. If the rumors about what she has written are even partially accurate, this memoir could be the final nail in the coffin of everything Kody and Robyn have spent years building together. Think about what Christine's book potentially represents in the bigger picture. This is not just another disgruntled ex-wife writing a tell-all for attention or money. This is allegedly a 17-year insider finally deciding to reveal the truth about how a plural marriage family was systematically destroyed from within. We are talking about what could be the definitive account of how manipulation, favoritism, and psychological warfare disguised as spiritual living tore apart what was supposed to be an eternal family structure. And honey, the implications go far beyond just embarrassing Kody and Robyn. Sources are whispering that Christine's revelations could potentially expose patterns of behavior that explain every major family crisis over the past decade and a half. The Las Vegas move, the Flagstaff disaster, the Coyote Pass debacle, the systematic alienation of the older children, the financial struggles while certain family members lived lavishly. What if all of these seemingly separate disasters were actually connected by a thread of alleged manipulation and calculated decision-making that Christine is finally ready to expose? But here's what makes this the ultimate revenge story. Christine is not writing this book from a place of bitterness or desperation. She has moved on, found love with David Woolley, built a beautiful new life in Utah, and achieved the happiness that eluded her for so many years in polygamy. She is writing from a position of strength, with the clarity that comes from distance and the freedom that comes from having nothing left to lose. Meanwhile, Kody and Robyn are still trapped in the life they allegedly built through questionable means. They are still dealing with the fallout from the other wives leaving, still trying to maintain their fairy tale narrative, still pretending that their victory was the result of being better people rather than allegedly being better manipulators. And now they are about to face the potential revelation of how they really achieved their monogamous dreams. The timing is absolutely perfect from a karma perspective. Just as Kody is about to humiliate himself on Special Forces Season 4, just as they thought they had successfully rewritten history to make themselves the victims and the heroes, Christine drops what could be the most devastating truth bomb in reality TV history. And if the allegations about what Christine has written are accurate, this book could change everything we thought we knew about the sister wives story. It could transform Robyn from the innocent victim into the calculating villain. It could expose Kody as a manipulated fool rather than a patriarchal leader. It could reveal that everything we thought we understood about this family's dynamics was allegedly carefully constructed fiction designed to hide a much uglier truth. The whispers are getting louder that Christine held absolutely nothing back, that she documented everything with dates and details, and that she is finally ready to let the chips fall where they may. And honey, when those chips finish falling, the Brown family landscape might be completely unrecognizable. So here's what I want to know from all of you. Do you think Christine's book revelations will finally destroy Kody and Robyn's marriage? And are you ready for the absolute chaos that could follow when these alleged secrets finally see the light of day? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for all the Sister Wives drama as it unfolds. Because trust me, the next video on your screen is waiting, and you won't want to miss what's coming next.